So let's talk about MK Ultra. This is a topic that's been going around for a long time amongst conspiracy theory people. It's been quite a few episodes on it on Ground Zero, the show that I really pull a lot of my news and ideas out of, and I'm going to really stay pretty specific on it today because it's such a large topic. It's very encompassing. But a little of the background is MK Ultra was set up to really get into doing some mind control. They used things like LSD and deprivation and even things probably considered torture to try to mold people's minds into becoming easily influenced by mind control. So another offshoot of that would be programming killers, possibly. Think of Jason Bourne, Bourne Supremacy, some of the books that were written. I know they're fictional, but they're based on a character that was under duress through kind of an MK Ultra system. And basically, there were real accounts of this happening in the CIA through even current times. Some of the mass shootings are looked to be MK Ultra inspired, at least, if not done by that group. Most of the killers have in common that they're on a psychotropic drug, which was definitely used, and there are triggers out there in our culture that will trigger them, as well as even HARP, which we talked about the other day. People in the area where HARP is say that they hear voices in their head. So there's mobile HARP, and that's been around for a long time too. There's lots of different HARP installations all over the world, and they could easily target somebody and put thoughts into their head and then trigger them to actually commit these violent attacks and whatnot. And the reason I kind of believe in this is because if someone's going to go out and shoot 20 children or whatever, it would happen a hell of a lot more often, because we're all pretty much kind of the same. And I know that we each reach our breaking point, and with all the guns in this country, I know there's already a shitload of violence in this country with guns, but I think there'd be a hell of a lot more mass shootings. It'd be like every week, So I think it's more like most people would never do it, but these people are pushed to do it even beyond what normal life gives you. So anyway, that's kind of a brief overview of it. Today I'm going to specifically look at one case of a person who was under MK Ultra, and that would be Amanda Bynes. And if you kind of go into her story and research it, you'll find that from a very young age, she became popular doing a comedy. I think it was some kind of comedy contest that her dad got her involved in, and they presented that to, I think, Nickelodeon, and then she became famous through the shows, the teen shows and the tween shows, like All That and the Amanda Show. And now as an adult, she's completely fallen apart. The news, I remember the first time I saw some information on it was that she was having a psychotic breakdown, and at first, I was concerned, wow, this actress who really, inspired a lot of people. My kids watched it, so I had to watch it with them, and I felt like, she was a pretty stable person. The kids had a good role model in those shows, and then, she falls apart like that, and you're like, oh yeah, just like Lindsay Lohan and Britney Spears and whoever else has gone down that path. But then you say to yourself, I'm going to look further into this. And then when you look into it, she actually denies all that, and says that her father sexually abused her, which is common among the MK Ultra set as well.
Could you repeat that? I kind of shook the camera.
Oh, that's all right. Yeah, so she was, when Amanda came forward with what's really happening to her, he found out that she accused her father of sexually abusing her from a young age, and we all know that Hollywood is full of pedophile types that go out. Guys like Corey Feldman will attest to it, and the kid from Home Alone there. So there's a lot of that there. And she came out and said that it was an MK Ultra got their hands on her at a young age, and did all kinds of mind control stuff. And then when you do look at the other stars that went down the same path, ending like a Whitney Houston with the drug overdose, and her daughter with the same drug overdose, and you see all these people, like, again, out of the millions of people involved in all levels of entertainment, from local to the big stage, the becoming mainstream pop artists and whatnot. You'd think there'd be a lot more of these people running around like that, but there really isn't. It's a very small percentage, but they happen to be the ones that are in a really high position that they target, or they put them there after they've targeted them. So Amanda really went through continues to, like, she is considered crazy now, like out of her head, crazy, bipolar, whatever they're calling it. But I've taken an interest in her story and did all the research, so you can get out there and really research her case. There's many more cases of this. There's many people who have come forward. You can watch videos of people describing the things that happened to them through the MK Ultra program. So again, this is like MK Ultra 101, just getting your feet wet. To the people out there that already know about all this, great. You probably know more than I do, obviously, but I spent a good amount of time on it, and it's really crazy. It's just a lot of stuff that you, like, dosing someone with LSD for just days on end. I mean, people do LSD for fun. They go to concerts, dead shows, whatever, and yeah, they'll dose themselves silly, but they come out of it, and they're at their own free will. And the problem with what they're doing is putting someone under duress after 2 weeks of doing high doses of LSD. It's gonna do something to your soul and your mind. So anyway, that's kind of the MK Ultra 101.